Hello everyone, we are going to study about lipid metabolism, that is breakdown of fats in our body. So we know that fat are stored as the fuel reserve of the body. Triacylglycerols are highly concentrated form of energy which yield 9 calories per gram. Now triacylglycerols are non-polar and hydrophobic, hence they are stored in the anhydrous form. So due to these two reasons, 1 gram of fat stored in the body yields 6 times more energy as compared to 1 gram of hydrated glycogen. Now, lipid metabolism is nothing but the beta oxidation of fatty acids. So, beta oxidation is the oxidation of fatty acids on the beta carbon atom. This results in sequential removal of 2 carbon fragments, that is acetyl-CoA. So basically this occurs in 3 stages. First is activation of fatty acids which occur in cytosol. Second, transport of fatty acids into mitochondria. And third is beta oxidation which occurs in mitochondrial matrix. Now, fatty acids are oxidized by most of the tissues except brain, erythrocytes and adrenal medulla. So first stage, activation of fatty acids. They are activated to acyl-CoA by thiokinases or acyl-CoA synthetases. The reaction occurs in 2 steps and it requires ATP, magnesium ions and coenzyme A. Fatty acid reacts with ATP to form acyladenylate, which then combines with coenzyme A to produce acyl-CoA. 2 high-energy phosphates are utilized in this reaction and ATP is converted to pyrophosphate. The enzyme inorganic pyrophosphatase then hydrolyzes pyrophosphate to phosphate. Now here the PPI is immediately eliminated, therefore this reaction is irreversible. 3 different types of thiokinases exist to activate long chain, medium chain and short chain fatty acids. Now second step, transport of acyl-CoA into mitochondria. Now inner mitochondrial membrane is impermeable to fatty acids. So to carry fatty acids into mitochondria, a specialized carrier system occurs which is known as carnitine shuttle. It occurs in 4 steps. First, acyl group of acyl-CoA is transferred to carnitine, which is catalyzed by the enzyme CPT1, that is carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1, which is present on outer surface of the inner mitochondrial membrane. Next, acyl-carnitine is then transported across the membrane to mitochondrial matrix by a specific carrier protein. Then CPT2 converts acyl-carnitine to acyl-CoA. Thus, acyl-CoA gets transported to mitochondria and the released carnitine returns to cytosol for reuse. Now you can see in the diagram that carnitine transports acyl-CoA into the mitochondrial matrix and the liberated carnitine is then, it comes back to the cytosol. It is mediated with the help of a carrier protein. Inhibitors of carnitine shuttle. Now this carnitine acyltransferase 1 is inhibited by malonyl-CoA, which is a key metabolite involved in the fatty acid synthesis that occurs in cytosol. So, if carnitine shuttle is impaired, its oxidation does not occur. Third is beta oxidation proper, that is oxidation of the beta carbon in the fatty acid. So each cycle of beta oxidation liberates 2 carbon unit acetyl-CoA which occurs in the sequence of 4 reactions: oxidation, hydration, again oxidation and cleavage. So first step, oxidation. Acyl-CoA undergoes dehydrogenation by a FAD-dependent flavoenzyme, acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. So here there is the formation of double bond between alpha and beta carbon atoms due to removal of hydrogen. As you can see, it is dehydrogenation. Second step is hydration. Here, enoyl-CoA hydratase enzyme brings hydration of double bond to form beta hydroxyacyl CoA. Third step, again oxidation. So here beta hydroxyacyl CoA dehydrogenase catalyzes second oxidation and generates NADH. And the product which is formed is beta ketoacyl CoA. Now in the last step, that is the final reaction in beta oxidation, is the liberation of a 2-carbon fragment, that is acetyl CoA from acyl CoA. This occurs by a thiolytic cleavage catalyzed by the enzyme thiolase. New acyl CoA containing 2 carbon less than the original then re-enters the beta oxidation cycle. And so the process continues till the fatty acid is completely oxidized. Now, this is a diagrammatic representation. You can see the structures. In first step, fatty acid is getting converted to acyl CoA by the enzyme thiokinase. You can see that here ATP is utilized. Now this acyl CoA is transported into the mitochondria by carnitine transport system, that is carnitine shuttle pathway. Now once in the mitochondria, it undergoes various reactions. First, acyl CoA is converted to trans-enoyl CoA. Trans-enoyl CoA is then converted to beta hydroxyacyl CoA. You can see in first step there was formation of double bond between alpha and beta carbon atoms. In the subsequent step, hydration is taking place, that is we get beta hydroxyacyl CoA. OH group is introduced in this reaction. Next step is beta hydroxyacyl CoA is converted to beta ketoacyl CoA. And here NAD plus is getting converted to NADH. Now this NADH will enter into the electron transport cycle and we will get 3 ATPs, that is 3 ATP will be liberated. Beta ketoacyl CoA is then acted upon by thiolase and we get acyl CoA and acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA enters into the Krebs cycle and acyl CoA then again undergoes all the steps. So, overall reaction for oxidation of palmitoyl-CoA. Palmitoyl-CoA plus 7 CoA-SH plus 7 FAD plus 7 NAD plus and 7 H2O, we will get 8 acetyl-CoA, 7 FADH2, 7 NADH and 7 H plus. Now palmitoyl is a 14 carbon unit, so it undergoes 7 cycles of beta oxidation to yield 8 acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA then enters citric acid cycle and gets completely oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. So here we can see the energetics. First, beta oxidation, 7 cycles. It will yield 14 ATP. Here 7 FADH2 are liberated, 7 NADH are also liberated. So total 21 ATP. From 8 acetyl-CoA we get 96 ATPs. And total energy from one molecule of palmitoyl-CoA is 131. But as we are seeing 2 ATPs are utilized, so minus 2 we will get 129 ATPs. So standard free energy of palmitate is 2340 calories. Energy yield by the oxidation of 129 ATP is 940 calories. So we can see here the efficiency of energy conservation by fatty acid oxidation is 40% because standard free energy is 2340 calories. Now let us see the deficiency of carnitine palmitoyl transferase. Now CPT1 deficiency can affect liver. It reduces fatty acid oxidation and promotes ketone body synthesis, and also it causes hyperglycemia. CPT2 deficiency mainly affects skeletal muscle, and to some extent it may also affect liver. Now a disorder, SIDS, that is sudden infant death syndrome. It is unexpected death of the healthy infant, usually overnight. Now we can see in the newborns, the source of energy is glucose. So after some time, this glucose gets reduced. It is used up. So at this time, the energy is to be gained by fatty acid oxidation. But if the infant does not have acyl-CoA dehydrogenase, if he is acyl-CoA dehydrogenase deficient, we can see that fatty acid oxidation will not take place, and hence infant will be deprived of energy. So the sudden death in infants occurs due to blockade in beta oxidation, which is caused by deficiency in acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. Next, a disorder is Jamaican vomiting sickness. So it is a disease which is characterized by hypoglycemia, vomiting, convulsions, coma, and death. It is caused by eating unripe ackee fruit, which contains hypoglycine, which is a toxic amino acid. This inhibits the enzyme. Thus, beta oxidation of fatty acids is blocked, leading to various complications. Now, beta oxidation of fatty acids in peroxisomes. In peroxisomes, beta oxidation occurs in a modified form. Here, ATP is not synthesized, but heat is liberated. Peroxisomal oxidation is induced by high-fat diet and administration of hypolipidemic drugs. Zellweger syndrome, it is characterized by absence of peroxisomes in almost all the tissues. So due to this long-chain fatty acids, C26 to C38 are not oxidized. They accumulate in tissues, particularly in brain, liver and kidney. Hence, this disorder is also known as cerebrohepatorenal syndrome. Now, one molecule of palmitic acid releases 16 molecules of water. So, this is significant in some animals because here metabolic water is released. So, as we know that camels have to live in deserts without water for longer time. So, here this phenomena becomes very important because they can store water for longer period of time, and hence they can survive without water for many days. So next are ketone bodies. So basically there are three ketone bodies: acetone, acetoacetate and beta hydroxybutyrate. Ketone bodies are water soluble and energy yielding. Now though acetone is a ketone body, but it cannot be metabolized. And though beta hydroxybutyrate is categorized under ketone bodies, it is not a true ketone body. Ketogenesis, it occurs in liver. As the name suggests, ketogenesis, that is formation of ketone bodies. So ketone bodies are synthesized in liver. The enzymes for this are located in mitochondrial matrix, and the precursors are acetyl-CoA, pyruvate and some amino acids. So first step, as you can see, two molecules of acetyl-CoA condense to form acetoacetyl-CoA. This acetoacetyl-CoA then combines with another molecule of acetyl-CoA to produce beta-hydroxy beta-methyl-glutaryl-CoA, that is HMG-CoA. Now here HMG-CoA synthase regulates the synthesis of ketone bodies. Next, HMG-CoA lyase then cleaves HMG-CoA to produce acetoacetate and acetyl-CoA. Acetoacetate then undergoes decarboxylation to form acetone. and acetoacetate is the